Real Life Military, episode number 11. In this episode, we're going to talk about money and how most people don't know how it's changed in the last 100 years, and how I believe it's going to change a lot in the upcoming months and in the next year. So, when we think about money, like we got switched to the gold standard, and that changed about 1964 when the coins were actually made of silver. So, you got a quarter, and it was actually made of silver. And they switched it to copper. So after that, we had the gold standard. We switched to the petrol standard. So now petrol, oil that's used all over the world, is backed by the United States. So that is about to be tested by the BRICS. So that's like Russia, China, South Korea, India. They're all going to make their own currency to make a new world currency. And that we've lost that since we let the Keystone pipeline go, and just how we've been messing with the Middle East for so long, and just our dominance in the world, because we're going more like to one side. And Russia's been waiting for this for a while. That's why they've been backing gold for so long. And then they are teaming up with China. They're exporting more. So after that happens, it's going to hurt us a ton. If we lose the petrodollar, that's going to hurt us. But I think the US has been planning for this, at least the government has. So especially what's going on with our banks. And it's crazy that people don't know this is happening. Just like with Silicon Valley Bank, and I think Signature Bank, they held up one bank, and they're going to let other banks go. And they've actually even put this out in Congress, where they're like, okay, you saved Silicon Valley. Are you going to save the little guys? And they're like, no, only the ones we pick are going to work. So people have been pulling their money out of small banks and putting it into the big banks. And they don't even know if those are going to work out. Because back in 2020 and 2021, when the beer bug was going crazy, interest rates went all the way down, and the banks took our money and made a bad bet, and now they have to redeem that. And it shouldn't be legal, but it is. But with this happening, they can basically pick and choose like who wins and who loses, just like they did with the beer bug. They said you can stay open, you can't. You have to follow these rules. You don't have to. And even when they were sending out all this money, and they think that people think the recession's over, so much money has flowed in to people, and they did nothing for it. And they said all these lies about what was going to happen, and it didn't. I think it was a big, it was a heat check. It's like, can we get away with this? And they did. So once the petrodollar leaves, if we lose it, I think they've already been planning, like I said, like they've been hitting cryptocurrency hard. Like I think they just got Coinbase, and they stopped all trading except for Bitcoin. So what could happen is so I think, pretty sure with NATO, they made USDC the like stable coin of NATO. I think that coin is going to be the stable coin for the whole world. So you can trade faster on crypto than you could for the petrodollar. So we're trading one for the other, and in great American fashion, for nothing. Like crypto is something supposed to be trusted, but we're just going to take it and be like, trust us, because we're the biggest, we're the baddest, we're Americans. It's super interesting, and that people don't understand this is happening, because they've done a great job of just covering everything up. Like, doesn't matter if it's the war, COVID, like just all these distractions, and people feed into these distractions. Like, we are also stuck in our ways with just status. looking across our yard, looking at our neighbors, and be like, this is how I should be. This is how they're telling me I am. It's like we stopped with our history. We're throwing history out the window, and we're like, this is how things should be. It's like not how things really are. That's why, like, when you look at just how we have a shortage on actual trade jobs, but we have an uptick in people like going through college and getting bullshit degrees, and then they can't get a job. It's like, go to college, get a bullshit degree, be hundreds of thousands or just even 50,000 in the hole, and then can't pick up a job, and then bitch about minimum wage. It's like raises that. Let's go ahead and, yeah, you can go ahead and have a shit job and you should be paid more rather than getting a job that we actually need. Those aren't pushed out. It's all distractions. All distractions. But we'll see how things go, because we have the election coming up. So they should keep on pumping the economy and the money. Just act like we're good. Act like we're good. And then once we get reelected or a new president, then everything's going to change. Because we always forget about these interest rates. It's like the 2% is gone. Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to flatline it at 4%. Like, even if you look at USDC right now, the interest rate is 4.6, and that seems pretty spot on, because we're never getting back down to 2. Back in the 90s and the 80s, it was double digits. We're gonna see double digits again, for sure. Yeah, and we'll see. I don't know. I just had to rant about it because it's blowing my mind how people aren't talking about this. And everyone that got a house around 19, 20, 21, and they sold their house, and they're like, oh, $100,000 or 2,100 or 200,000. It's like, oh, I made bank. It's like, you just gave up a 2% on your house that could be 10% now. You'll never buy a house again. It'll be super hard. It's like that instant gratification. That's what everyone cares about. What do I look like now? Not in the future. It's like, sometimes we're too smart for our own good. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. Because if I'm right, things are going to be really fucking hard. And I can't wait to come back to this video and critique it if I'm horribly wrong or right. No matter what, it won't change what I'm doing. Like, I'm pretty sure I got most of the distractions out of my life, and my life has been 100 times better. And that's all I got. Peace.